Hello everybody, PokeKid here, and today I am with Eli Covitz to talk about Rainbow Road. And first of all, can you give me a bit of your background, like how long you've been kind of playing, and how's your year gone?
I've been playing for about 6 years. I'm a master, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
And
Uh,
how long have you been playing? Well, whoops, already asked that question. How has your year gone?
I've had a pretty successful year. Top four, not the regionals, top eight. Got second at Seattle regionals.
Wow,
So
good job.
yeah, I've top eight states, but so it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, finalist, that's great. So what made you take notice of Rainbow Road?
Well, I really like the concept, the idea, the amount of damage it can dish out, really. Um,
Yeah.
and I was going to play it for Cali regionals, but my flight got canceled, so I couldn't play it. And I really
Oh,
liked the deck,
gosh.
so I decided to play it if I could next regionals, no matter what. So, and Seattle happened to be that regionals.
Yep. And made a right choice
Yeah.
there. How long ago did you take notice?
Ooh, for a really long time. Before it was even a thing, really. Like that's
Oh, yeah.
when
Not many
I
people really consider Rainbow like a big deck, though.
right. So
So it's kind of in the dark, but it's good. And why'd you decide on the Ho-Oh version instead of like the EX Max Elixir?
well, right. So Spooky Sect. When Spooky Sect became a thing, it was also that battle compressor hoe energy switch engine, and I really thought that was a good way of getting energy out because that was like the only other energy acceleration I could think of at the time, especially since Elixir wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
So
And then you kind of just stuck with that.
right,
Because you run like Energy Switch, which I see in your list you ran four of.
right.
Um, so you, I'm not, I play the EX version of Rainbow Road, so I'm not completely sure how you use this. So do you like use Ho-Oh's Rebirth and place down some other guys, and then use like Rebirth, and then you get the energy on them, and then use Energy Switch to bring them to Xerneas?
Right. That's mainly how it works. The Ho-Oh is mainly for the Xerneas. I play a couple different energies for different attackers if necessary, but
Yeah.
it really depends on the matchup. But
Like, like
mainly the Ho-Oh is for the Xerneas, right?
yeah, like you run Evil Tall.
Right. And that is very matchup dependent, like
Yeah.
when you use the Evil Tall.
Um, and then next we're gonna kind of talk about some of those techs you added, like Evil Tall. What do you use that mainly for?
It's for Trev.
Yeah,
Whether or not it works, like that's debatable, but it's for Trev, and that's the reason to
I
play it.
ran Espeon, which do you know what it does?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's really good against the what's it, Trev, just
Mhm.
because of its stuff, and it also can help against what's it called, Jolteon,
Right.
because its attack goes through Jolteon.
Right.
And then I also see you run Gallade. What,
Yes.
yeah,
Gallade, it's mainly for Jolteon because I can think of a very good calendar at the time. So it was for Jolteon. And it's also really good. Its ability helps keep consistency, but
yeah.
it's for Jolteon. Yeah.
Because other than that, it's just no.
Right.
I'm guessing you're running Execute as just someone who you can kind of always have on your bench.
Right. And it's also great for computer searches. It helps you computer search Ultra Ball.
Yeah.
Like you can, it helps discard like things you need. But yeah, with Skyfield, if they knock out Skyfield, you can just discard the egg, and you can put it right back if you get another Skyfield in play. Like really helpful.
And you run a Keldeo. That's pretty obvious. It's Russian
Right.
stuff. There's nothing else I see here. That's that crazy. You run Maxis to get Gallade. You went for 4 Skyfield instead of 3. Is that just consistency?
Definitely. Skyfield is settled because you start your get Ho-Ohs. And it's also important for Silent Labs because Silent Lab is pretty popular, like Stadium Wars, and I really want to make sure I can win that. And also getting the Skyfield out turn 1 is also really nice.
Yeah, because Silent Lab could be a big problem. No rebirth or propagation. So.
Or Shaman, or Jirachi, or Hoopa.
Or Shaman, or Jirachi, or Hoopa, or Keldeo.
Right.
Yeah. So you run 1 water and 1 dark and 3 fairy. Do you feel like that's enough energy? Well, you also run 4 DCE, but do you feel like that's those 5 basic is enough?
Yeah, it's definitely enough energy. I mean, my old list used to run a bit more, but you only energy switch the fairy, and the 2 other energy is for the Eviltal and also for more energy attachment on the rebirth flip.
And why do you run computer search instead of dowsing machine? With dowsing machine, you can get back like energy switch.
Because computer search is just super consistent, and that consistency is really important. I feel like in getting out, like maybe you need your DCE or something. You know, it's kind of important you get that rather than digging through your discard.
I bet you wish you could run more energy switch than just 4.
Usually 4 isn't actually that bad. I never feel like I'm running out of resources. Like
really, because you have no way to get back energy switch.
Right.
And that's only enough to power up 1 Xerneas.
Yeah, I mean it's true, but the Xerneas isn't that easy to knock out. So over time, you're still attaching manually.
Especially with fighting Fury Belt.
Right. So it's not as big as a problem as you think. Like usually, I mean, even though you run 4 energy switch, like you don't end up using all of them during a game.
Yeah. What are the changes? What are the changes that have kind of happened between like the Winter Regionals and Seattle?
Well, the Winter Regional list didn't play Fighting Fury Belt. That was a change.
Fighting Fury Belt is just makes
it's just really phenomenal. Good, right? And Gallade and Maxis are definitely 2 new additions to the deck, and Yveltal. But other than that, it's pretty similar to the old list.
Yeah, Yveltal's a really good idea.
Yeah.
And what does this deck do well against? And what were you kind of worried about? Like, what matchups were you like really confident in?
Okay, so Yveltal is one of the easiest matchups. Also, Mega Dex, Mega Manectric, Mega Rayquaza, those are both really easy matchups.
Why?
Because you're one-shotting those high HP Pokemon, and it's a 1-for-2 prize trade. So it's pretty easy. Bad matchups is definitely Trev.
Yeah, Trev did just the first turn item lock.
Is completely devastating to the deck. And that's pretty much, that's like almost auto loss.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Except I run, when I played it with the X version, I ran Espeon, which you can kind of, I guess if you can get it going fast enough, you can stop them from, like, you can, like, really slow them down.
Mm-hmm.
And just buys you time. So you can slowly get everything set up. Except Yveltal's a much better idea. Did your matchups work like that in Seattle Regionals like you planned?
Pretty much until the finals. That's when it obviously didn't show the Yveltal matchup. But throughout the day, I played at least maybe... I played at least like 6 Yveltal, I think, that tournament. And I only lost in the finals. And I beat the champion of Seattle Regionals during Swiss. I 2-0'd him really easy. So, I mean, sometimes you get lucky, right? And like, there's nothing to do about it, but... Yeah.
So, yeah, everything except for the Yveltal. Well, You kind of just got unlucky in the finals.
Right.
Do you feel like people should start considering Rainbow Road as like a big deck?
Um, Definitely. I think Rainbow Road is a really good deck, especially if people are really worried about Yveltal. If there's an increase in Yveltal, it's definitely a really good deck.
Yeah.
It's also good against like Megas and Yveltal counters. If people are playing Raikou Eels, it has a really good matchup against that, and also Mega Manectric. Those are both good matchups. So, I don't know. I think it's a good deck.
Unless Raikou Eels will start one-shotting you and gets the first one-shot off on Xerneas.
That's true. That's really. I feel like that's kind of difficult though.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty back and forth. It's gonna be a pretty chance matchup, like who gets kind of set up faster and stuff. Do you think it has a chance in standard?
I'm thinking about testing it in standard because I really love the deck, but I don't think it'll do so well.
I tested it for standard in like the state session. Yeah, I ran like Golurk, which has the double type, and no.
I don't know. I was interested in like the Mew. The Mew, like I don't know, you could try something like that.
Yeah,
Like
that could be. But I don't know.
Because it has free retreat. Yeah, I like the free retreat. You definitely need free retreat.
Oh yeah, that makes it a lot better. Although you'll be attaching quite a bit of energy to it.
True.
And it only has 50 health.
True. Fighting for your belt in 90. I don't know.
Yeah. Just testing. And do you have any tips for juniors that might be thinking about playing Rainbow Road? Like things that might be harder for them? Or...
I don't know. I think it's important to not rebirth unless it's really necessary. Other than the turn one where you need the rebirth for the energy attachment. But using your Ho-Oh and using your egg, you have to watch them carefully, and you can't just bench stuff just because. You have to limit your bench to do the correct amount of damage so you don't waste your resources while getting the one shots. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, also, you need quite a bit more practice with the Ho version than you do with the EX version, just to like get the what to place down. Like with Ho, the only really thing you need to do with the EX version is learn like what EXs to put down in certain matchups.
Right.
Is there anything really that you would add from Fates Collide?
Mew, maybe. I haven't really looked at the new set that much, but maybe Glaceon. Glaceon could be interesting against Trev.
Glaceon, actually, I'm not going to any more regionals, but if I were, I'd probably play Rainbow Road. Last time I played Raikou Eels. But I would probably play Rainbow Road, and only at Seattle, Fates Collide wasn't legal. So Fates Collide would be legal, and especially in the X version, I would totally run Glaceon, because you just have the stuff.
Yeah.
Probably drop the Espeon. Or no, because that's useful. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Only problem is it's a water type, and you already have Keldeo too. That can get a little...
yeah. Yeah. So, anything else that's worth mentioning about Rainbow Road?
Not that I can think of. Like that's the. Maybe cards. I'd think about changing in the deck.
Oh yeah.
I noticed I played the Glade in Maxi, but I wasn't really that big of a fan. Maybe it was because I only played against Jolteon once that whole tournament, really.
Was it helpful?
But it wasn't. It was against Mega Manectric, Jolteon, Garbodor, and I ended up, even though I did get it out, I didn't really use it because I was already one-shotting the Mega Manectric, so they couldn't accelerate the Jolteon, so I didn't need it. And other than that, it was kind of in the way of the whole tournament. So that's something I would be thinking about cutting, maybe.
Yeah, because you could add like Gallade for like some other Pokemon.
Right. I mean, 2 cards is like pretty big.
Yeah,
so
and then Maxis could just be like more consistency, like maybe another N.
Right. Or you could add another supporter, like maybe a Getsis or AZ or Zerus.
Because you run Jirachi. So, you run one Chorus. Chorus is really good in Rainbow Road because you fill
Yeah,
up your
that
bench
could
so
be
fast.
that could be another card you could put in because it's just really good. You draw
Yeah.
so much with that card.
My list ran 3 Chorus. Because with the X
Yeah,
version, you fill your bench like even faster than the Ho version because you have like more Hoopa and So you really made your list like really consistent wise. Like you don't have a ton of techs. You mainly just consistency, like 4 Trainers Mail, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker. Although that's kind of necessary with the maxis.
right. I mean, yeah, it definitely helps with maxis, but just consistency is just so important, especially
Yeah.
with this deck. And I just love decks that are consistent and aggressive too with the battle compressors. And
Yeah, and that's this deck because it's
right,
consistent, it's fast, it hits hard, it's non-EX. Yeah, Rainbow Road is just a really strong deck. Now, you like the Ho version more than the EX version, right?
yeah, I do like it much better.
Yeah, I personally like the EX version, but they're both Rainbow Road. They use the same main attacker. That's all for now, and I'll see you all next time. Eli, would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, bye.
Bye.